Hi, welcome to the Loan Officer Team Training Podcast. I'm your host, Irene Duford, and I'm so glad that you're here today. Today, I'm going to do something a little bit different. First, I'm going to ask you a question. Have you gotten training ever in, formal training at all? And most importantly, when you started out in the mortgage business, did you get the training that you really hoped you would get? Most of you, the answer will be no, because most of us do not get trained formally when we start in the mortgage business. So when I started in the mortgage business in 1997, I was so excited to get in the business. I had never been on commission before. I had always worked a job that paid a salary. I didn't know what it was like to be on commission, and I was nervous. Luckily, I had a severance pay that was going to last me 8 weeks. And so I thought, oh, this will be a piece of cake. I have 8 weeks to build up a pipeline. I had never really been in sales or anything like that. And so I was promised training, but I didn't get it. And it was very difficult, very, very difficult. I didn't get any training. I didn't even know what a good faith estimate was. I didn't know how to provide one. I didn't know anything. And so it was very painful, super painful. My family needed money to live on. My husband was working as a teacher, which you don't get paid much doing that. And so we relied on my income as a second income, and it wasn't happening. And then you have to wait so long to close a loan as a loan officer because you're on commission. By the time you get a loan in and work it and then close it, it's, 60 to 90 days when you first start out in the business. It can be 30 if you have the right support, but I didn't. I worked for a broker and I didn't have the right support. And he promised me he was going to train me, and he didn't. And so I was really disappointed. But you know what? I found a way. I didn't get the training I needed, but I went to the people who could provide some type of guidance. My lender's rep, because we were a broker, my lender's rep is the one that offered advice and showed me how to do loans and things like that. But it was never formal training. So I'm super passionate about being trained formally. And there's so many people that come into the business and they don't have any training. And so we have some training that we just came out with last year at the very end of the year, and it's called Loan Assistant Mortgage Training Bootcamp. And it's designed for loan assistants or loan partners that are supporting the loan officer. So we talk a lot about how to support the loan officer and that type of thing in the training. But I want to tell you a little bit about the training because it can be for new loan officers that don't have assistants, so that they know what an assistant is supposed to do for them. But it also just teaches basics to the loan partners, the loan assistants that are needing to support the loan officer. It shows them how to do the loan part of things, how to actually do a 1003 and things like that. So I'm just going to briefly tell you about it so that you can be aware of what it is. And you'll be able to find it on loanteamtraining.com. And the name of the course, because we have 3 courses on there, is called Loan Assistant Mortgage Training Bootcamp. And it's for anyone who wants to learn the mortgage business so that they can start on a loan team. It's for new loan assistants with very little or no training or no mortgage experience. Somebody on your team that you want to transition over to being a loan partner, but they don't really know how to do the loan part of it. Loan assistants who've never formally been trained. They have been on the job and they've been learning, but they've never formally gotten step-by-step training. Because if you're a loan officer, who has time to train every step of the way? I've had people that wanted to get into the mortgage business when I was a manager that I would have loved to have on my team, but I didn't have time to train them. And I didn't have a training course like this to go to. And so I finally stopped hiring brand new loan officers because I didn't have time to train them. Well, this kind of course helps them to learn the mortgage side of things. And then, of course, they can learn sales as well. But this particular course is about the mortgage side of things. And so it helps loan officers build a successful team by sending them to this training or by having them go to the training before they even start. This is a great class for people who want to start in the mortgage business as a support to loan officers, but they don't know the mortgage business. And man, if they took this class, they'd be ready to go when they joined a loan officer team. So this is for loan officers to send their team to, or their loan officers to, where they don't have the time to train them. And they need to stay focused. As a loan officer, you need to stay focused on generating more leads. Loan officers very rarely let go until they trust that their team is well trained and they know the loan process and they can let go. Otherwise, you're going to stay in it, right? Isn't that the hardest thing to do as a loan officer when you first hire your first teammate, is to not let go and to stay in it, and then you get in the way? Well, sending them to a class like this provides them with the training that they need. And so what this class covers is, on the mortgage section, it covers mortgage relating terms that they need to know, using checklists to avoid mistakes, reviewing the many steps of the loan process, step by step, how it goes, how to take a complete loan application, how to ask the right questions, how to review a credit report, how to review income and employment, how to manually calculate debt to income ratio, how to review assets, and what are property types? What does that mean? Interest rate basics, loan programs, conventional FHA, VA, USDA, rural housing, manufactured housing, property documentation. What is it that they need on that? Loan guidelines, how and where to find them. Purchases, reviewing the purchase contract in depth, we go into it. What is title insurance? How do we review appraisals? How about refinances? What's different about a refinance from a purchase? TRID, TILA, RESPA, integrated disclosure basics, automated underwriting, the basics of how to review the findings, requesting and obtaining documentation needed, verifications review, preparing a loan to go to the processor, how to get it ready, documentation to get, and keeping the client informed every step of the loan process. And their role as a loan assistant is understanding the role and job description of a loan assistant, teamwork, how to give your best to the loan officer and the team. How about time frame expectations? What's your loan officer's expectations for the process flow and meeting deadlines? This is from the loan partner's perspective. What is the loan officer expecting from them? This is a really good conversation as a loan officer to have with your team. Managing their day as a loan assistant. Prioritizing, how to prioritize what comes first and what's most important. Sweat, I like to refer to it as sweat, the same way every time. Doing things with a process, with a procedure, the same way every time. Documentation, what to ask for and how to get it as quickly as possible. Scripting about that. How to talk to the clients to show the urgency. Checklists, using them to avoid problems so that the problems don't happen. They never happen because a checklist is in place to prevent problems instead of waiting until after the problem happened and then going back and fixing it. How to be a problem solver and not always running to the loan officer every time they need something. How to follow up with clients. Why is it so important and how do you do it? Scripting, how to communicate throughout the loan process. We go into many scripts about how to communicate through the loan process and give the clients an amazing experience so that they always want to come back and the agents want to send all their people to you. Connecting with clients so they really want to work with your loan team. How to have a success mindset. So how to build confidence. This is something that I cover in every training that I do. It's what I like to refer to as self-talk. And it's really saying the right things to yourself so that you're set up for success instead of failure, so that you're set up to know that you can accomplish anything that you put your mind to do if you have the right self-talk. And we go deep into that, and it helps build confidence in people. How to be a valuable team member, a valuable asset to the loan officer or to your company if you're a loan officer, the best qualities to have. And then how to create such an amazing experience that clients are going to remember about your team and they're going to want to come back and send their friends and family. And your realtor, your agents, your referral partners are going to be so happy with the service that your team gave them, not just you, but your team as well, that they're going to want to send everybody they know to you. So that's what the class is about. It's called the Loan Assistant Mortgage Training Bootcamp, and you can access it at loanteamtraining.com. I just wanted to give you a little bit of an overview of what it was. I'm so grateful that you're here. I'm so grateful that you take time to listen to this podcast. And my last tip of the day is just to go out and make it happen. For those of you that don't have a loan team yet, you can build a loan team by going out and making sure you're making your calls. You're doing your daily success plan. You're making your calls. You're writing handwritten personal notes. You're meeting with people who can refer you, agents and other people who will refer to you. And you're building and deepening connections. And when you do that consistently, it works. That's all I can say is I've seen hundreds, thousands of loan officers work the daily success plan because it works. And I'm so grateful to be a coach with the Freedom Club. And I'm grateful that we have a training resource for you. You know, when I was coaching loan officers, the reason this company came to be, and my husband and I opened this company called Loan Team Training, is because as I was coaching loan officers, I realized that there was a need for coaching their assistants, and not just basically coaching them, but going deep with them and being able to really train them on how to wow clients, how to convert clients, and how to do the loan part of it as well. Now we have 3 classes that do that. So I just want to say thank you for being here, and go to loanteamtraining.com and you'll be able to see in detail all the classes that we offer. And I appreciate you listening today. And if you benefited from what we talked about today, I would sure appreciate a 5-star review if we've earned it. And I'm so grateful that we get to have this training company and this podcast. And I'm grateful that we get great guests on. And next week, we're going to have an awesome guest as well. So if you or anyone you know would like to see what we offer at Loan Team Training, you can go to loanteamtraining.com and have a wonderful day.